Air action figure sold. Keep it fresh.
Guarda come va veloce. Tony Fassina.
Quando le emozioni si fondono con la passione nascono grandi progetti. Fassina da oltre 20 anni è il punto di riferimento nel settore delle automobili, con ben 15 marchi di auto nuove, officine e magazzini di cambi moderni ed efficienti, la più ampia disponibilità di vetture aziendali, chilometri zero e usate. Tony Fassina, grandi emozioni per grandi clienti.
Ciao a tutti da Motor Times, disponibili nelle sedi di Saronno e Legnano tutta la gamma scooter 2026 in pronta consegna. Vi aspettiamo per vederlo e provarli. Ciao!
Amo di Moto Saronno dal 1945 vi aspetta con tutte le nostre offerte nuove. Gamma Kawasaki, Fuji Motor, Moto Guzzi, SVM, KL, Mondial e tanto altro. Insomma vi aspetto con i veicoli nuovi e anche con tutto il parco usato. Via Novara 28, Amo di Moto Saronno. Ti aspetto!
SH 125 e 150 modello 2026, attenzione gli ultimi esemplari in offerta, non fateveli scappare, 3.590 franco concessionario per la gamma 125 e 150 con finanziamento senza interessi ma solo da Motostar.
Ciao a tutti da Max di Stamoto ti mette in moto, specialmente con una casa nipponica come la Suzuki. Veniteci a trovare qui in via Miano 18 perché Suzuki parte con delle promo sensazionali. Su tutti i modelli ci sono delle promo veramente convenienti. Quindi cosa aspettate? Veniteci a trovare, soluzioni finanziarie personalizzate. Stamoto ti mette in moto e Max è qui che ti aspetta.
Ciao, sono Fabio da Royal Enfield di Milano Nord Pogliani e vi aspettiamo in concessionaria. Tutta la gamma 2025-2026 in pronta consegna. Ovviamente siamo pieni di moto per iniziare l'anno alla grandissima con i Royal Enfield Rewards. Sconti da 300 a 610 euro, cumulabili col finanziamento a tasso zero. Pagate la metà, uscite con la moto 2 anni senza rate e poi ci pensate. Vi aspetto da Pogliani.
Ciao, sono Luigi, insieme a Davide e il mio collega vi aspetto a Bike House Orange in viale Belforte 2 a Varese, concessionari ufficiali KTM, Kawasaki, SIM, officina autorizzata, abbigliamento Power Part KTM, Kawasaki, vi aspettiamo numerosi.
Welcome to Brands Hatch for the final round of the 2003 British Rallycross Championship. The title may have been decided at the previous meeting, but that hasn't stopped thousands of supporters from making their way to this corner of Kent in the middle of November in anticipation of some of the best four-wheeled racing around. There's also a lot of pride at stake, with many drivers desperate to make sure their season doesn't end with a whimper. This is what happened in the previous round at Brighton. Despite this shunt, Pat Doran still somehow managed to keep going in the Supercar final. It was Will Gollett, though, who led from the front ahead of Irishman Dermot Carnegie in the Ford Focus and Pat Doran's battered RS200. And that was the way it stayed, with Gollett guiding his Ford Focus across the line first in this category for the 6th time this year. While Gollett has been the man to beat in supercars, the modified class has been dominated by Christopher Evans. He's put the Nissan Micra onto the podium in every round of this year's championship, taking the top spot on 5 occasions. And despite the close attentions of title rivals Dave Bellaby and Des Wheatley, Evans managed to take the flag yet again in the previous round at Brighton. But it's the Superfinal that's the big one. This pits Supercars against modified, and points scored in this race determine who'll be overall British Rallycross champion. And there was drama when defending champion Pat Doran spun out, and with title rival Will Gollett a non-starter, it left Dermot Carnegie free to take the checkered flag and the 2003 Rallycross crown. But now attention is drawn to Brands Hatch. And even though the title has been decided, there's still a lot of pride at stake and some great racing in prospect. It's been many years since Brands Hatch last hosted a round of the British Rallycross Championship, so let's reacquaint ourselves with a lap of the circuit. This is the first dirt section, a short spurt through here, and then it's back on the tarmac and up towards the famous Druid's Hairpin. Then it's the drop down towards Graham Hill Bend, but turning left sharply halfway down, and then it's the long drive through the muck and gravel, running parallel with Cooper's. Then it's across the small stretch of tarmac at Surtees, back onto the dirt, and then rejoin the tarmac at Clearways, the long right-hander. Then it's off towards the start-finish line, and beyond that the sharp right turn at the top of Paddock Hill Bend, and that's a lap of the Brands Hatch Rallycross track. And your driver today was Dave Bellaby in the Vauxhall Nova. Let's check out the championship table then, and it's Dermot Carnegie who's sitting pretty at the top of the pile. He can't be caught, but remember, there's still a lot of pride at stake. Let's begin the action with the supercars and start by looking at some of the men who should go well. It's been a mixed season for Mike Manning. The Welshman is 8th overall in the supercar standings, yet he's put his Ford Escort on the podium 3 times this season. The highlight being round 6 at Anglesey, where he held off Doran, McCluskey and Gollop to record his only win of the year. There's a new colour scheme for Pat Doran, the former Rallycross champion, adopting the colours of his 2004 sponsor for the final round of 2003. He'll have made sure his supporters are here at Brands Hatch en masse, and he'll be out to give them something to shout about. Yet the man doing all the shouting this year is Dermot Carnegie. Having clinched the overall championship for a record-breaking 5th time, he's in a celebratory mood.
Obviously it was a great pleasure to win it this year because it was very tight from the word go, and with Pat and Will we had a tremendous battle all year and it was thoroughly enjoyable.
And he'll be out to prove his title is no fluke in the last race of the day, the Superfinal. But first it's the Supercar final, and the man to beat is undoubtedly Will Gollop. He leads the way in the Supercar standings and is looking to put the disappointment of missing out on the Rallycross Championship behind him.
I'm not really bothered whether we finish 2nd or 3rd or whatever now, because the championship's gone, but to win at Brands Hatch will be really pretty special, and to wrap the year up will be great. Yeah, I like Brands Hatch very much, and they've worked very hard to get the track as good as it is today, and it's fantastic to see the crowd back here again. It's brilliant.
Here we go then with the final supercar race of the year. We're on board with Dermot Carnegie. That's the view from the front row towards Paddock Hill Bend, and something's very, very wrong with Carnegie's car. Very wrong indeed. That does not sound good at all as Doran and Gollop fight for the first corner. And it looks like Gollop's got the drop on Doran. We're on board with race leader Will Gollop. So the all-important first into the first corner. And Will Gollop could be on for his 7th supercar win of the year. Pat Doran back in 3rd, but it's all going for Will Gollop at the moment. It's Will Gollop who we're with right now. 2nd is John McCluskey, right on the tails of Will Gollop as he makes his way towards Surtees. Gollop leads, McCluskey 2nd, Doran 3rd, and it looks like Mike Manning is in 4th, yes, ahead of John Cross. So Gollop makes his way to complete the opening lap. Doran in 3rd place, and we're on board with Will Gollop. That's not quick at all. That is not quick at all. Gollop is coasting, and it looks as if he's out. John McCluskey's the new race leader. Pat Doran up into 2nd, so Will Gollop, not the day for him either. So we've lost Carnegie and Gollop. Amazing really, because both Gollop and Carnegie have been on the podium in every race bar one this season. And to lose both of them here in the final round. But this man doesn't care. GB1 Pat Doran He won't be GB1 next season. He's second at the moment behind John McCluskey. John McCluskey had a pretty rotten year, really. Only been on the podium twice before today in the Supercar final, but he's leading Pat Doran around, but Pat Doran's not settling for second. He's got the bit between his teeth as they head down over the start-finish line. McCluskey leads from Doran. It's a two-way fight. Mike Manning's just off in the distance in third. I'm sorry, you can't park there. Will Gollop and Dermot Carnegie. McCluskey into Druids, Mike Manning out wide. He's not given up on getting a top two position, and he's hunting down Doran and race leader John McCluskey. John McCluskey will be enjoying this. It'll be half nerves, half enjoyment. Wanting to make sure nothing goes wrong. He won't want to throw this away. Mike Manning's all over Pat Doran for second place, though. Mike Manning trying to find a way past. So Doran was giving McCluskey lots of trouble as Manning goes past Doran. So Mike Manning up into second place. Can he hunt down John McCluskey? Fantastic drive from Mike Manning. Outpowered the RS200. Now then, this is the battle for fourth. John Cross, number 99, 16. Lawrence Gibson was in fifth place, but he's in the gravel now. John McCluskey leading Mike Manning, and Pat Doran's having a go at Manning again. Doran trying to find the inside line round Druids. No real overtaking opportunity here. It's a mistake really that's going to let Pat Doran in. And John McCluskey, no need really to cross his fingers either, just a couple of bends away from victory. At Clearways, checkered flag is getting unfurled around now. John McCluskey heading down to take 100 points and his first Supercar victory of the year. Over the line he goes. Mike Manning is second and Pat Doran settling for third. The first Supercar win of the year then for John McCluskey. Before today his best result was 2/3, while fourth place goes to John Cross. That's his best of the year. As far as number one Supercar driver of the year, well, that honour goes to Will Gollop, while McCluskey's win moves him up to fourth. So a surprise victory in the Supercars. Will we see a similar result in the Superfinal? To find out, join us again in part 2, just a few moments away.
Air Action Vigor Soul. Keep it fresh.
Guarda come va veloce. Tanto fascina.
Quando le emozioni si fondono con la passione nascono grandi progetti. Fassina da oltre 20 anni è il punto di riferimento nel settore delle automobili, con ben 15 marchi di auto nuove, officine e magazzini di ricambi moderni ed efficienti, la più ampia disponibilità di vetture aziendali, chilometri zero e usate. Tony Fassina, grandi emozioni per grandi clienti.
Ciao ragazzi da Motor Times, è tempo di ritornare in sella. Tracer 7 e Tracer 9 disponibili in pronta consegna in tutte le colorazioni. Finanziabili? Grazie al nostro partner Santander. Vi aspetto a Saronno e Legnano per vederle e provarle. Ciao!
Amo di Moto Saronno dal 1945 vi aspetta con tutte le nostre offerte nuove. Gamma Kawasaki, Fuji Motor, Moto Guzzi, SVM, KL, Mondial e tanto altro. Insomma, vi aspetto con i veicoli nuovi e anche con tutto il parco usato. Via Novara 28, Amo di Moto Saronno. Ti aspetto.
Ciao, sono Davide di Bakehouse Como. Questo è il mese giusto se vuoi 1003 GS. Abbiamo in omaggio per te Kit Touring. Cosa prevede? Attacchi laterali, borse e chiusura centralizzata, linea di scarico cromata, paramani maggiorati, predisposizione navigatore. Vi aspettiamo!
SH 125 e 150 modello 2026. Attenzione, gli ultimi esemplari in offerta, non fateveli scappare. 3.590 franco concessionario per la gamma 125 e 150 con finanziamento senza interessi, ma solo da Motostar.
Ciao a tutti da Max di Stamoto ti mette in moto, specialmente con una casa nipponica come la Suzuki. Veniteci a trovare quindi a Miano 18 perché Suzuki parte con delle promo sensazionali. Su tutti i modelli ci sono delle promo veramente convenienti. Quindi cosa aspettate? Veniteci a trovare, soluzioni finanziarie personalizzate. Sta moto ti mette in moto e Max è qui che ti aspetta.
Ciao, sono Fabio da Royal Enfield di Milano Nord Pogliani, vi aspettiamo in concessionaria. Tutta la gamma 2025-2026 in pronta consegna, ovviamente siamo pieni di moto per iniziare l'anno alla grandissima con i Royal Enfield Rewards, sconti da 300 a 610 euro, cumulabili col finanziamento a tasso zero, pagate la metà, uscite con la moto 2 anni senza rate e poi ci pensate. Vi aspetto da Pogliani.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch, and still to come, the Minicross Modified and Superfinals. But first, it's the Stockhatch boys. As Chris Cake, car 631, seems to have the right line into Paddock Hill. Jamie Lee is second, James Harrell third. They're all bunched up behind those boys. Cake it is who leads then. Jamie Lee second, James Harrell the champion third, Tony Bardi, car 699 is fourth. And fifth is indeed Sean Holland, 608. He hasn't been on the podium this year. If he can make it here at Brands, he'd be delighted. Chris Cake has won this year. Second place man Jamie Lee hasn't, so could he be on for his first victory? He's coming under a lot of pressure from Tony Bardi, another driver who's not won this year. The man in fourth place, James Harrell, he certainly knows what it takes to win. He's the champion for 2003, but it looks like he's settling for fourth place at the moment. But as they cross the line, Chris Cake, 631 leads. Jamie Lee is second. Tony Bardi in third. Down into Paddock Hill Bend. Hard on the brakes. It's still Chris Cake who leads. Jamie Lee second. Tony Bardi still holding on in third place. These cars, standard production vehicles, they're either 1600cc 2-valve per cylinder or 1400cc multi-valve models. It's dominated by Peugeot 205s, and it's 205s that are the top cars here at Brands Hatch today, filling the top three places. What order those three will be in at the end of the race? It looks as if it's going to stay this way. 631, Chris Cake, just this corner to go, and then the flag will be his. Looking good. 687, Jamie Lee's going to take second. Tony Bardi's going to be third. That is indeed the order as they cross the finish line. And it's a delighted Chris Cake who takes the checkered flag. It's been a long time coming, but Chris Cake records his second win of the year following his opening round success at Croft. And the result means he finishes the season in second place, moving ahead of Julian Godfrey. However, not close enough to James Harrell, who wrapped up the championship before Brands Hatch. The modified campaign has been a hard-fought and at times contentious one, but nonetheless enjoyable for both racers and race fans. Christopher Evans has the title, but it's a fight for second between Dave Bellaby and Des Wheatley.
The long, fast straight doesn't suit us. With the 1800 engine, we're really struggling for legs at the end of the straight. The loose section, quite happy on the loose section. The car handles particularly well on the loose, so I'm enjoying that bit yet. That's okay. Christopher seems to have it in qualifying, but after Christopher, I think there's sort of 5 of us within a second or so. So it's all about, I think it's going to be about the first corner.
Des Wheatley is one of 4 men to have won this year. The others are Mike Turpin and Christopher Evans, and Vauxhall Corsa driver Gordon Rogers.
Qualifying was alright. Yesterday practice we had a major problem, broke the front suspension, and we had to borrow various parts from other drivers to put it back together. So, and then we qualified alright, but it's just that it's not handling quite as well as it should do.
Fastest man in qualifying is, somewhat predictably, Chris Evans. He's off to Supercars next season, looking to end this campaign on a high.
We were quickest in the first 2 heats, so we didn't have to go out for the third heat, but I went out just to scrub in new tyres for the final, and we had another win, and it couldn't be much better.
The final modified race of the year then. We're on board with Dave Bellaby on row 2, Christopher Evans to the right of the picture, Gordon Rogers to the left, and Gordon Rogers blocks off Bellaby. Bellaby drops back because of it, but it's Christopher Evans who goes into the first corner first, followed by Mike Turpin, car 41, the Vauxhall Nova. He's ahead of Gordon Rogers and our 4th place man with the onboard camera, Dave Bellaby, as they head up towards Druids. It's all kicking off at the back, big time. Something's happened there. I think Des Wheatley's involved. 23, Dave Ward seems to have escaped it somehow. Dave Bellaby, the new 3rd place man, he's made his way past Gordon Rogers then. Onto the podium. Oh, Gordon Rogers straight past, straight through. Powers his Vauxhall Corsa past Bellaby's Vauxhall Nova. Rogers then certainly in 3rd place. Christopher Evans leads, 5 times a winner in the modified class this year. Leading Mike Turpin, bit of a surprise. Turpin started the year well, won the opening round at Croft, and then since then we've not really seen much of him in this championship. Dave Bellaby into Paddock Hill. He holds 4th place at the moment. Christopher Evans, the race leader, is probably just a little bit too far ahead of him for Bellaby to do anything about that, but it's Gordon Rogers he's trying to get past at the moment. Great drive from Mike Turpin. This is more like it from the man who won the opening round of the season at Croft. Since then he's watched this man, Christopher Evans, go from strength to strength. He beat Evans at Croft and he beat him here at Brands Hatch. Gordon Rogers, it's been a mixed year for him as well. He's had the odd moment or two on top of the podium. Probably just a bit beyond him as well today. He goes into clearways and oh, where's Gordon Rogers going? Dave Bellaby has a look. But he knows, oh, that doesn't look good at all. Well, I think that tells its own story, really. Christopher Evans leading then. Mike Turpin looks to be settling for 2nd. Bellaby a distant 3rd. Dave Ward back in 4th place. Hard look for Gordon Rogers. It's not going to be the season finale he was hoping for, but it certainly looks to be like the finale that Christopher Evans was looking for. He's about 10 seconds away from the checkered flag as he goes into clearways. This big, long right-hander. And takes the checkered flag for the 6th time this year. A deserved modified champion for 2003. Christopher Evans finishes the year in true champion style. Great result for Mike Turpin, by the way, only his 3rd podium of the year. While Dave Bellaby's 3rd place moves him up into 2nd in the overall standings, ahead of the unfortunate Des Wheatley, who failed to finish today.
Winning the A final, winning the championship, winning the BRDA championship, I'm delighted. Team have done a great job all year. I'd like to thank Tony, Bardi and all the crew. The car's been touch wood all year, no problems.
Gary York in car 401 has dominated Minicross this year. He has 5 wins to his name already. He's got the inside line. Has he got the whole shot? Oh, him and John Binks. It's all they've touched. York spins off. Oh, locks it up. Can he get? Yeah, he's still moving. Gary York, not the start he wanted, and he's going to have to go some to make his way past this lot. Matt Roach, car 496 in 3rd behind John Binks, the man who touched with Gary York at Paddock Hill. 466, Charlie Whaley, good drive from him. He's in 4th ahead of car 410, Martin Yates. It's Craig Cox who leads it though. And this has got to be the drive of the day. Craig Cox, before today, his best result, well, he didn't really have a best result. He scored 70 points at Liddon Hill, which represents 7th place. So this really is a fantastic drive by Craig Cox as he goes over the line to take his first 100-point haul of the year. Craig Cox pulls off the surprise result of the year then. 2nd goes to Matt Roach, while champion York finishes 4th behind Whaley. Not much change to the top of the standings. John Binks doing just enough at Brands to hold on to 2nd spot overall from Matt Roach. No Dermot Carnegie, no Will Gollop in the Superfinal. The very last race of 2003, we're on board with Dave Bellaby in the modifieds as the Supercars charge their way down. Doran and McCluskey side by side into Paddock Hill. Oh, Doran's got it. Fantastic drive. Oh, and Bellaby touches Evans, and Evans is off. There's Bellaby. Bellaby's back on. My word, and Manning. Oh, it's all kicking off here. Manning goes off. Remarkable. Dave Bellaby. It looks as if we've lost Christopher Evans. Mike Manning's dropped back down the order. He's mixing it with the modifieds at the moment. But Pat Doran leads from John McCluskey. Third is Mike Turpin. Mike Manning is fourth. Dave Ward fifth. Bellaby sixth. Oh, as Doran kicks some dirt in the face of John McCluskey. I don't think Mike Turpin's going to hang on to third place for much longer. Mike Manning should get him along the start. Finish straight. In fact, he does. Over the start-finish line he goes. As Doran goes into Paddock Hill, this will be a great result for Doran because he's had his troubles again this weekend. On board with Bellaby. John McCluskey, this is definitely turning into his weekend of the year, unless, of course, we speak too soon. We've seen what's happened to Carnegie and Gollop. And it almost happened to Mike Manning as well, but he's running in third. Pat Doran, cross Surtees towards Clearways, leading McCluskey, doesn't seem to be able to get close to him at this point. There's still some way to go though. But it's been such a tough weekend for Doran. His team working throughout the night to make sure he has a trouble-free race day. He's on his second engine and that's had its problems as well. Dave Bellaby in the dirt, round onto Clearways, in sixth place at the moment. John McCluskey, though, it's been a fantastic weekend. Shame his year couldn't have been the same, really, but he's all over Pat Doran. Maybe he can record another win then. That would be a turn-up. Pat Doran, though, getting the power on, trying to shake off the attentions of McCluskey, and he certainly has done along here. And with just clear ways to go, it looks like another win for Pat Doran. He'll end his season on a high. He may not be champion no more, but he's certainly got that winning feeling. John McCluskey's second. So the final checkered flag of the season belongs to Pat Doran, with John McCluskey taking second to round off his best weekend of the year by far. The result means Doran finishes the championship second ahead of Will Gollop, with modified champion Evans in fourth.
Air action figure sold. Keep it fresh.
Benvenuti nel più grande salone di autovetture aziendali chilometri zero e usate d'Italia, il Car Village Fassina. Solo al Car Village trovi un'esposizione di oltre 10.000 metri quadri dedicati interamente alle vetture usate e alle chilometri zero. Tutte le migliori marche del mercato, auto controllate e garantite con arrivi giornalieri per soddisfare le esigenze dell'automobilista moderno. Una scelta incredibile, una qualità indiscutibile. Per la tua nuova vettura usata, scegli il Car Village Fassina.
Ciao a tutti, benvenuti in Bike House. Quest'anno una grandissima novità per la sede di Varese, la vediamo qui, MV. Quindi vi aspettiamo in Viale Belforte 2, io e Stefano, per scoprire la gamma, l'abbigliamento, e giù in Officine Ragazzi per il service dedicato. Non mancate!
Grande promo sulla nostra gamma 350, Forza 350 colori 2025, il modello è identico, 5.940 franco concessionario, e ADV 350 6.590 franco concessionario con il bauletto originale di serie. Godono oltretutto del finanziamento senza interessi di Agos Ducato by Honda, ma solo da Motostar.
Quando senti un suono così non è solo un motore, è il richiamo di Ducati Milano. Da Ducati Milano trovi tutta la gamma Ducati, offerte imperdibili e test ride dedicati. Ducati Milano, passa a trovarci e scegli la tua prossima moto. Amo di Moto Saronno dal 1945 vi aspetta con tutte le nostre offerte nuove. Gamma Kawasaki, Fuji Motor, Moto Guzzi, SVM, KL, Mondial e tanto altro. Insomma, vi aspetto con i veicoli nuovi e anche con tutto il parco usato. Via Novara 28, Amodeo Moto Saronno. Ti aspetto.
Ciao a tutti da Max di Stamoto. Stamoto ti mette in moto, specialmente con una casa nipponica come la Suzuki. Veniteci a trovare qui in via Miano 18 perché Suzuki parte con delle promo sensazionali. Su tutti i modelli ci sono delle promo veramente convenienti. Quindi cosa aspettate? Veniteci a trovare, soluzioni finanziarie personalizzate. Stamoto ti mette in moto e Max è qui che ti aspetta.
Ciao ragazzi da Motor Times, disponibile in pronta consegna tutta la gamma naked di Yamaha. Vi aspettiamo per vederle e provarle a Saronno e Legnano. Ciao ciao!